Hey guys, what's going on? Western New York Bigfoot here. We've just been going through some of our photos since it's winter here in Western New York, and a lot of our locations are highly inaccessible. So what we do is I'll just show you kind of how I pick through some things. Like, we take this ordinary photo and we'll just zoom it in, and we would start on one side roughly like this. Zoom it way back, just so it's decent, and then you come across and you try to look for things that don't match, or faces, and you're clearly not seeing any of that right here. Well, I don't see any of it, but as we come across, there was something I noticed, and when I get there, which is the end of the photo right here, let me know what you think. To me, let me zoom this in a little bit more and come across to you. Do you guys see that? Now, I don't like to point it out too much because, yeah, it's a little blurry, but you can make something out over here on the right hand side of your screen, which would be here. Now, anybody could say, well, you never know what that is, or that could be a tree. Well, when you back the photo out, you can clearly see right here, it's short, whatever that is. It's not a tree because it doesn't match like the color going up. So you never know. It was just something that I kind of wanted to point out. You let me know what you think it is. Okay, so in this next photo here, which we zoomed in, this is something you would call that might look like a face or whatever, but you could see something clearly right here. I have no idea. It looks like an ear or a face or a long snout. I don't know. I have no idea, but it's just interesting, so I like to share these things. So can that be like your eye wanting to make faces? But I mean, you can't see through it, so it's not light penetration. I really don't know what that is, but it looks odd, so I figured I'd just share that, and you could see that it's like right here. It's big, whatever it is, and it doesn't look. Here's the weird part about that. Here's a brush pile, and it doesn't look like a brush pile. I don't know, but so what we do is we just come across, scan a bunch of photos, and you never know what you're gonna see, because a lot of times I try to tell people, one of the best things you can do when you hit the woods is take your time, try to not get overwhelmed, and take a lot of photos, because you won't see it with your eyes a lot of the times. It's not till after you get home and go through all your photos that you start seeing odd things. Could it be Sasquatch? Yeah, it could be. Could you catch paranormal stuff? A lot of people have. So pay attention to that. It's just a good reference. But that is intriguing right there. I don't know. I try not to make it look too pixelated. So let me know what you think. Okay, and so here's another photo. Now, to the untrained eye, it kind of looks normal. It's just a beautiful day, taking photos. And not until you really start to zoom in do things look awkward. But right over here, now, if you look at the landscape, it's all like this light brown from the saplings, and here's your green. And if you come across the floor, it's all kind of like the same color. You got your grass, and then here is the grayish browns, and then you got this black thing right here. Now, if that was a tree, you would see the black normally going all the way up. If the sun was hitting it from a certain direction, you'd still see the black going all the way up. I don't know what this is. I have no idea. But That does look like eyes, some type of mouth, face. And you could see, like, it almost looks like his shoulders coming off right there down to a hand. Here looks like to be a tree, and the other half of it is behind it, back in here. I don't know. And then you got this whole black thing going on right here, which, you know, doesn't look to be, I don't see bark on it. I don't see, you know. Oh my God. This is the first time I'm seeing this, but that looks like an eye right there. Does that not? That is awesome. Almost like it'd be ducking down. Maybe there's a second one back here. But that clearly right there, that looks odd too even. That is a clear eyeball, and there's even whites in the eyes. Maybe I'm just seeing things, but this is one of the first times that I've seen this photo, and it just didn't look right to me. When you see that big massive black there amongst all of the brown trees. See, what I tell, like, my hunter friends is everything in the forest, the majority of everything in the forest is vertical. Trees are vertical. When you're trying to pick out a deer, you look for that horizontal, the line of the back, or the legs or the ears, because those are the things that you'll pick off first on a deer to know that it's there. So when I seen this, it looked odd because of the color, and now that I zoom in, I mean, that right there looks like an eye to me. Maybe not. Let me know. And back here almost looks like another type of face on a gray one. You can see the shaped eyes, the conical head right there. I understand pictures get pixelated. It's not a perfect science, but just as I can make out this tree here, it has a shape. And this figure has a shape too, and they just so happen to be different colors than the tree, or the trees that are surrounding it. So I always like your input. You know, I like your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Okay, and now I just went through about 46 more photos. So I try to tell people not everything in the woods is Bigfoot. Not every down tree, not every break or noise is a Sasquatch. But here's another thing. So I'm zooming in and I'm coming across, and I see that. Now that looks like hair on this thing, whatever this is, like a little round head, an eye, almost a perfect nose. You can almost see the shine right there of the nose tip. I don't know what this is. I'm not certain, but it's got a very big head, if that's something, and you would see it right here on the right hand side. I have no idea. Now, could it just be the way something is shaped? Possible, but it's got the different colors. So I started looking, and I seen the rounds. You don't get a lot of round shapes in the woods, you know, unless it's tree stumps on the ground. You don't get shiny noses. You don't get what looks to be like red lips here, and a small mouth, and a slit eye. So I don't know. You tell me. You be the judge. I'm letting you guys be the judge on some of the stuff that we find in our research. Alright, so I did another about 20 photos, 30 photos maybe, and I got here. I shared this in one of our earlier videos, and I was going to actually get to zoom in on this a little bit for you. Here was the pond. It's kind of small, and it extends left to right, or right to left, and it goes farther left. But see how the forest is all like monotonous, same color, gray, 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 and you'll get your blacks. Well, I can see that tree right there, and I can follow it all the way up. Here's a black tree. We can follow this tree all the way up and down, right? So two things that stood out I circled before is this and this. So let's go ahead and zoom that in there. Now, I try not to share anything that is so super pixelated that it looks terrible. But if you look at that, it almost looks like that's a leg. Here's a head. That doesn't continue all the way up, right? Okay, so let's be a naysayer here. That's a stump. Well, where's the big tree on the left, right side that fell off that stump right there? Because I don't see any matching tree anywhere. So you gotta start paying attention to certain things. Is it 100% definitive? We'll never know. If we were a little closer, possibly. So when we seen that, that's when we looked to this side of the photo, and it just looked odd, like something was moving, or a blur, or a face behind a tree with an arm right here. Let's take it like this would be the head. Here's the arm, like extending or something down in there. It looks like an arm comes up with a space, back down. And it looks like fur in here, and it obviously does not match the tree. And then if we look at it, the black stops right about here, which roughly looks about 7 feet, maybe taller. I would say that's at least 7 foot. It doesn't keep going up, so it's not a tree. And if it's a stump, well, let's look left or right. I don't see a tree that would match that. It's just a common sense approach, guys. And you know, like I said, we've got thousands of photos that we do all year long, and we try to get the videos up, and we try to save the photos for later on. So I'm giving you just some insight. I hope you like it all. And here was actually, I think, the before photo of that, because there was 2 snapped in this location. So if you look at this black space and this black space, they look like they're in different positions compared to the other photo. This one looks a little different, and this one definitely looks different, because now you can almost see a whole leg right there, it looks like, and this stick or whatever looks to be blocking it, and you don't see as much of the shoulder. So to me, and my best guesstimate would say that this is moving, but I like to try to, you know, compare and contrast. So as I'm going through this photo, it just looks plain Jane, something you wouldn't notice with your eyes. And then I looked kind of right here in the middle, and I seen that face right there. Now I know people say that you can see faces in the trees, and it's just kind of what your brain does. Your cognitive, your brain likes to find faces, but that kind of blatantly stands out. I don't see that I can see through that or anything. It's a little distorted, maybe because of the distance, but it's definitely blocking out the tree behind it, as you can see that right there. I don't know if I have an after photo. I haven't got that far yet, but I'll check. Another thing while I'm going along, I didn't have a second photo taken in that location, but I wanted to point out these mounds here. We find a lot of these mounds here, way up in the woods in western New York. So back in the day, 1870s, near Lilydale, which is a famous psychic place. I don't live too far from there, maybe 10 minutes, and our research area is maybe 10 or 15 minutes from there. In the 1870s, they found what's called mound builders in the area, or what our Chautauqua County, you know, called mound builders, and out through Ohio, that's the name they dubbed these people. They found these people that would live like sort of underground. It would be like hollowed out, and they were finding 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 feet tall. They were buried underground, and I know by Cassadaga Lake, which is Lilydale, they pulled quite a few bodies out of there. There's a whole historical thing. If you read about it, Chautauqua County, New York, and you look up mound builders, there's a huge article written by the state, so I encourage you to look that up. But these mounds are kind of interesting. So we don't know, you know, in the middle of the woods, they're odd to find, and we start finding quite a few of them all over the place. And see, I haven't looked through this photo yet either. Now see, one could say, well, that right there, but that's too blurry for me. I like to have something definitive, like an outline, or where it blocks certain things, or it's just, if I'm trying to hold myself to a better standard, which is very hard, you try to do the best you can. This photo here, I'm just going to show for like clarity purposes. I believe this was with our Nikon camera. We use a Canon and a Nikon for our still shots. Very expensive cameras. But as far as clarity and zooming in, you know, we use our high-end laptop also. But like, if you zoom in, you can see detail in these trees before there's a lot of pixelation. Well, on my screen anyway. And you know, even way back there. So when you start seeing objects or faces or certain things, it's not because of the camera or anything like that. Because a lot of people say, oh, you need a new camera, or we use high-end stuff. We have a 4K Panasonic recorder that we do most of our videos with. We use a GoPro every now and then. But we notice that they jiggle around and hit the branches too much, so it's kind of hard. You'd rather have it holding in your hand. But I just wanted to share this, you know, how clear photos really can be, and people will still be upset about the quality. But you could see the bark. Look how close I come into that. So I think it was pretty good. I just wanted to show that as a reference. I don't even know how many photos I've gone through so far. I just like to tell people, you don't find everything that you're looking for all the time, but once in a while you do. So I was going through this photo, and it looks to me like a red orb ball or something here. I almost would say it's got a face on it. That's pretty cool, right? So I'm not really sure what it is, but I just happened to see it there, and it wasn't like on a tree or anything else like that. But I just like to show you guys everything that we see, or could be possibles, or so on and so forth. I don't like when it gets super pixelated, but this takes hours and hours, guys, to complete. So, you know, we hope you like it, and we definitely like your input. So here's another odd finding off in the middle of the woods. I have no idea what this is or was. But as you can see, it looks like something was built. Now, we can obviously see that that's some type of building here, or something. Looks like it's got a roof, and I don't know, I just thought it was interesting. But even though we know it's there, because we can see it, it almost looks like you can see through the wood beams kind of in here. It's just because of the distance that you're looking at that. Maybe that is a tree stand, but that's awful big. So it's just something I wanted to show, how your eye can work and play tricks. And here's another photo. Beautiful photo. I shared it. It's a pond in one of our locations. And then you know, you can zoom in, and it's really nice when you have some type of clarity to the photos. But you notice everything is, you know, grays or green, and as you go along and you just start looking for things, I'm not saying pick everything out and everything is a Sasquatch, guys, but, you know, use your common sense, and you could start to see things like right over in here. This is what I seen when I zoomed. See how far that is? You see that distance? That's far. So I have to zoom this way in across the pond, and that just looked odd to me, and it's black. Now I don't know how tall that is. That does go uphill a little bit, so it looks like it could possibly be coming downhill. Looks like an arm. Who knows? But at the distance, I was just seeing the color, and it didn't fit in. So try to look for that when you're going through your photos. So I just thought it was interesting here. This photo I kind of wanted to share with you in regards or relation to how thick of terrain we really go through. And obviously the photo from here is end of March, beginning of April. So once that really grows in, you can't even get through there. So that's why sometimes we have to go through this stuff in early spring to try to find core locations. And in photos like this, you'll find like odd shapes, you know, like that, which could look like, you know, an arm, another arm, a leg back there, shoulders, inset head. You know, so you don't really know. It doesn't look like a tree because you don't see the tree extending. If that's a tree, you don't see the width. So you find all kinds of things. You just have to pick through it and know what you're looking for. Here's also another good example out here. You know, could look like a Sasquatch, cone head. By the time you zoom it in, it's fully blurry, and then you as subscribers or whatever, you get upset because it's not high quality evidence, and so on and so forth. But we just like to share. Okay, so here was in June. This is an odd trail cam capture. Here's a deer right here near one of these structures. And I don't see any other animal over in here. This is where we're going to be looking. So let's go ahead and check this out. I'm going to rock it for you. Keep your eyes like right in here. Like right in there. Now you see that right there? Let me go back. Gone. There. Gone. There. There's something right there. The deer's still here. I don't know what this is in here. It just, I don't know. Go to the next one. Let's see. And it takes off right there. Causes the deer to jump or run or something. Go back. Let's see. It's just too hard to tell. But whatever it is takes off that way. Okay, so here's something crazy for all the paranormal buffs out there and the metaphysical people. This is 11:44 a.m. June 29th. Look right here. You guys see that? Like an orb or a plasma of some sort here. I do not know what that is. Okay, right in here. But what I'm going to do is go to the next photo, which it was on burst mode, so it took 2 or 3. Now watch. it's gone. And that's the same, it takes like 3 snaps at the same time. It's there, it's gone. That's not a light trick or anything. The color of this is even different than the sun color on the trees, so you can't say that it's the sun. And as far as exposure, it's dark in here. It's dark in here, so I don't see any type of sun play. Maybe out here on the trees where it's coming through, but where it's hitting this tree in here is totally different. And the sun, I mean, it's the same. There's click, click, you know, same times and stuff. So I was gonna try to roll it up. See that? I know you can see the time now. And it's the same time frame. So let me see if I roll that. I don't think you can see it. There's that one. Now I'll go to the next one, and we'll go and try here to roll it up for you guys. I don't know if it'll be possible. And there's that, and it's completely gone, and it's the same time, just so you can see that. So that's kind of intriguing, isn't it? Yeah, so that also that black thing, yeah, that's gone too, because if I go to the next photo, it's gone along with that head. It's pretty odd. Huh. I don't know, let me know what you think. Now, if I go ahead and use that camera for reference in the last photo, you can see the deer, how tall the deer is looking up at the camera, so you can see how high we do place them. Now, here I'm going to be showing you a quick clip in this video where I actually had a visual encounter with a Sasquatch while setting up some game cams, and this is where I left my 4K camera on the ground facing out in front of me, leaning against a tree, while I took the camera out of my backpack and proceeded to walk backwards and set the cam. While I was setting the cam is when I had the encounter, but if you listen to some of the things I say, like I'm being watched and I have this feeling and all these other things, it's kind of you should start to pay attention to your gut feeling, because we ended up, this is the video we ended up catching or capturing other Sasquatch out in the background where there's some movement, which was broken down by a tri-diver, and I also did some other things on my channel in July, so if you need to look at that, I can share it way back. We kind of like had it zoomed in and so on and so forth, but I'm just gonna share this so you can listen to some of the things that I say. Okay, let's go ahead here. Because it has grown. We haven't been out here since last year, and this structure is made way bigger. Okay, there's a tree bend. And I try to tell people, these are the things you gotta look for. Do we know if they make it? I mean, no, but common sense is telling you guys. See what's going on here? This is big, guys. Look at this. This is how I know they're here. This has grown in size, guys. So something's going on this side of the mountain. You can see how they've been placed, interweaved. All that. There's a nice tree bend right up there. I think that's where we're going to put the camera. You guys see this tree bend here? Classic, right? Classic tree bend. Look at, stuffed right under a branch. I don't want to get too close, but you see that? Stuffed right up under there. So I am actually going to set up a trail cam here. Let me get my backpack off and set you down for a second. I gotta keep my eyes open, guys, because I'm by myself and I'm losing daylight. And out here is where they actually were seen by other individuals that pointed it out to me. Alright, there we go. But off to this side is where I tell you I'm being watched right now. I seen one, and see, I state that. I have that feeling. Just give me a second here, guys. I'm going to set up this trail cam. I'm going to leave you right there with my backpack and all the other gear. I walk away, go back about 10 steps, and I'm placing the trail cam, and off to my right is where I'm able to see one visually, and I start to talk to the camera so you guys can hear me. And as I stated, I was being watched. I had that feeling, so follow your gut. But we had a friend, Brian Hansen, who found some movement out in here that ended up being crucial to our research. You guys can hear me. Off to my right, who's watching me right now. I like your tree structures. I was trying to get the camera set to maybe snap a picture of it, but it obviously didn't. And unknown to me, the ones that were out here, I didn't know were there. And it will, see it move away? Right there it was. I'll rewind that for you. If you watch right in here, there it went. Did you see it? Backpack back on. I did not know it was there. Watching what I was doing, and I looked out of the corner of my eye. And I'm gonna try to do this, and hopefully you guys are gonna get lucky. My fucking, I'm erasing right now, guys. Now here's my trail cam. So this is what I set up. I'm gonna pan to the right, and it was over here. You know, I just set up this trail cam, hoping to, you know, catch some deer and so on and so forth. I don't know where he went. But I watched him look right over that, down in there, while I was setting up this trail camera. Yeah, I'm a little shaky, because I got caught, him watching me, and he was in there somewhere. He was right there. See that tree? That was a big black void, and I was able to see his head. He was looking right at me, guys. Oh my God. Startled me, startled me, startled me. Why do they do that? But very interesting structure, nonetheless. Can you guys tell us why you make these structures? I'm very interested. Whoa, did you guys hear that? That was like a response. Immediately after I answered my question, or asked my question. Guys, I'm just curious. Can you explain the tree structure somehow, some way? They're very awesome. I'm definitely not able to build one like you. I don't know what that answer was or what those taps were, or, but I can hear something walking though, so I'm just gonna back around this way because I'm gonna head back down the mountain. So I just wanted to pause that for you. Little tree structure though, man, my heart was pumping. I seen his head and everything. That's actually my third sighting. Ooh. I seen him looking blatantly at me. His head was really fuzzy haired. He had a short forehead. You could see his brow ridge, his eyes, the skin of his face. I could only see from his top lip up. I'm saying this so I can get a good rendition right now. I could only see from his top lip up. I seen his eyes, his head, and like off to his right shoulder I seen. And it actually scared me pretty bad because all I did is look over and happened to witness him there. And I'm gonna guess he was in the range. I don't know if I've got him on camera or not. I don't know if I was able to. I don't even know if it's him, but I know what I just seen. So that was my third experience, third encounter, third eyewitness visual. Then it's always you put the camera down or you have it leaning against the tree or you're setting other cameras up, and that's what happens. Always. See, I was a little distraught there because I didn't get the one that I seen on camera. But like I said, I did get lucky, and the ones that were out in the background, you could see move off, and you could zoom that in yourself, or you could go back to July and check out our videos. I think it's Sasquatch footage by Ryan Reading, and there's a couple other breakdowns. I've got 3 cameras running right now. I've got an audio recorder running right now, and they were all sitting against a tree in the name of research to set up a game cam. It's frustrating. It really is, guys. It's frustrating. But that had me going for a second, guys. I was going. That fight or flight kicks in. And my nose started running. Whew. And man, I was ready to like run. And my first instinct is to run, but I'm not gonna run, and I don't do that. And I'd rather talk to them and let them know that they're very interesting and get back down to this trail or on this trail here, wherever it is. There she is. Ooh, what is that? Sometimes I like to just stand silent. Sometimes you have to just listen. Now something stepped there possibly. But these are nice little water sources when it's hot out. See these little watering holes? When they get filled up, you know, they can travel out of the way if they need to get their water. But a lot of like gorillas and chimpanzees and apes, they get a lot of water that they need directly from what they eat all day long. It's extracted that way, so they don't have to visit water as much, in my belief. So it's always possible, but you never know. A lot of these rocks, you can actually see the glacial striations on them. Sorry, I'm in a creek bottom. I know it's rough, but yeah, I know you're watching me. I can feel ya. What's your guys' name? You're a different one, aren't ya? I can tell. I know your buddies. So the reason I was saying that is I could feel the energy. A lot of people say that, and I could feel that it was a different one, not one that I had encountered before. They know I'm friendly. Honestly, all I'm doing is coming out here to do some research about you for my own benefit. I'd like to know what you are or who you are. Is there a way you could give any information somehow? It's definitely a different one though. The feelings that I've gotten from all the ones that I know in the area. So this actually feeds into Fred's theory from the other night. About different Sasquatch, because this one's definitely different, and I'm wondering if the one I just seen was the mother, was the female, because her hair, its hair was fuzzier. The top of its head was like fuzzy hair, like I don't know how to explain it. I just don't. But it had me going, man. I was pumped. I was pumping for a minute. I tried to get that camera without running because it's not going to do any good. And then if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. And even when you do get it, the people say you don't got it. So it is what it is. All you could do is try and get out here and do your best. See, you never know, they could walk through the creeks, but I have to look up on the valley banks because I'm sitting down low and that's predators like that. Actually, well, that could have been an old one right there. Right there. Actually, that is one. Possibly. Like, here's the big toe. It comes down, around, and up. It's possible, but we're in water, so I was hoping to find a really, really good one down in here because it's moggy or soggy and marshy. Ugh. And that sun will blind you. I hear him. I can hear him walking and breaking sticks. For me to get high ground. Alright, so that was just something I wanted to show you that was part of our research. I'll get back and go through a few other things.
Step on that. Here. You guys ready? Gotta whoop. Yes, I hope it's on camera.
So that was us getting some responses during the daytime, and you could tell by the other researchers they were quite shocked. I've had this happen, and we've heard this before, but they honestly hadn't, so they were quite shocked. This is just a little clip while we were out setting game cams, and once my few researchers, we've got a couple, but you know, they were kind of new to this, and I was, you know, explaining a lot of things to them, and they wanted to know more. So you'll listen.
I don't know what the hell's going on up here. That's all I want to know.
Guys, I'm telling you, there's some crazy stuff going on up here.
You can see their reactions.
The structures are unreal.
They're all over the place.
They are. That's, you know why?
Dude, and that's not blow over or snow load.
That's because they spend their time here. It has to be something that's spending time here.
That's what I try to tell people, that when you're finding these big structures or multiples in one core area, they have to spend their time there to build them, to make them, or if you're finding structures that are added to over and over. See, a lot of times we go in the woods, people will be looking around, oh, take a picture of this structure, that structure, but they don't come back in a month or 2 months and see if it's been added to. It was just a structure to them. They don't go back and revisit these certain locations, and if they are being added to, that means they're coming there for a reason. They're coming there spending time, they're building more. So that's where you should be frequenting.
I've not even seen deer sign anything here anymore, except for a couple of piles of scat. This used to be an old bedding area where you would see nothing but deer tracks. You don't see anything.
Oh, I know.
Something's spooked them out.
Crazy, right?
You'll see me setting game cams. Some of them I like to hide at the bases. You'll hear me. You'll hear me do some crazy sounds here. Interference with the camera. I just heard that.
That's what the scream sounded like on audio.
Really?
Now, it may sound crazy to you, but those are some of the sounds that we've heard on audio. These are some things that we caught at night. I don't know if they're, you know, light orbs or anomalies, but there's no sun at night, and you shouldn't be getting this reflection right here. Somebody said it almost looks like a Sasquatch, you know, paranormal, like face, and so on and so forth. It could just be mist or something going on, but I'm not too sure. And then here's some type of something super exposed. like something was coming in and reaching, but that's very lit up, and this is a no glow camera, no flash, so we don't know what this is. It was like illuminated. Sometimes, well, I am remote, don't get me wrong, I am remote, but ooh, you see that? Where's my foot in comparison to it? It's way up there. It's probably about a 15-inch. See, the other ones were coming down too. They might go. That was a possible foot track that we actually ran across. I'd definitely like to point out, when you see this and you got a coon on trail camera during the day, that's not good. Here's another trail cam photo. If you look over here, it's something, and I'll hit it again for you. And see how it moves off? It's definitely some type of light, because that's completely in the air. So the paranormal is something that you will definitely catch if you start doing research. And last but not least, I just wanted to show you what we were doing for our gifting station. We would have the kettle and we'd put the marbles on top. Marbles, the reason we did that is because if a scavenger or anything came and knocked it over and took the food, 9 out of 10 times they would leave the marbles. They wouldn't want the marbles. So that's how we would distinguish if it was just an animal or possibly a Sasquatch, because when the Sasquatch did come in, the marbles would be missing. One time they took the whole kettle on us, including the marbles and everything. So little by little, I'll continue to preach, per se, and tell you everything that we've learned. Hopefully you can take it in and digest it, and you like some of our evidence. You know, we want you to like, sub, share. We have so much to give and so much to talk about. We just want you to know that our research is 100% legitimate, and we hope you like it, guys. Thank you.